I sat up for a week thinking about writing something, and I really couldn't write anything. I felt it best to just speak, and I'm a rambler sometimes. But I say to Maurice, I say he knows the trouble that Kimmy had been through. A year before her demise, she had a twin brother who was found in the north side, left in an attic, who had decomposed for probably about a week before they found the body. She had a sister that was kidnapped and found down in New York City and been lit on fire 6 times in a pool and left there. And we had to bring her back with her teeth to identify her. We knew about my 5-year-old sister that was murdered back in 1985 here in Syracuse on Lincoln Ave and stabbed 140 times and thrown off a 2-story balcony and left to die on a concrete sidewalk. He's been to my house numerous times, and I've always gotten along with Maurice. And I've told you numerous times that my sister was the only thing left in this world for me. I told him that my sister was all I ever wanted in my life. I was 6 years old when my other sister was murdered. I waited 15 years for Kim to come, and I was never so happy. I have 4 children of my own, 5 now with the inclusion of my nephew. And nothing means more to me than that girl did. I have lost my grandparents. I have lost our parents. I have lost sisters and brothers and cousins. And every morning I wake up and that little boy still smiles at me. And I go to work every day and I tell those people, if that little boy smiles, how the hell can I not? How can I go through a day thinking anything but happiness when this boy has lost the most important thing to him? And he can still smile. He still goes to school. He is very successful. All the kids love him in his new school. His old teachers still call to check on him. That's how wonderful this boy is. I wanted to bring a picture of Kimmy and him in here today with them to show them that these 2 smiles will never be the same again. I don't know how much time he's going to get. Whatever it is, it'll never be long enough. Because I look at this as, if this was an accident, and we've all done accidents in our life, excuse me. We all have accidents in our life. And we know right from wrong. And when you do an accident, you own up to an accident. The only time that you lie is when you know you've done something wrong and you don't want to take onus for it. And I didn't know the true scope of how everything played out when it played out. But through the paper and everything else, I've kept up to date. And to know that this man did this, took my sister to a hospital, did not take her into that hospital, did not alert somebody that my sister was dying, and from what I was told, pregnant. So her and his child were dying. And he left that scene. And then when approached, he denied being at that scene. This is what I've read in the paper, and said that he was just trying to be a good Samaritan. Even a good Samaritan, if I didn't know anybody in this room, and I stopped to help you, I would know enough to take you into that hospital. And he did not. And I look at the family of his here in the courtroom, and I've spoken with his mother, and I've spoken with his sister, and his brother. And they weren't always honest in the beginning with what went on. And I say that because the things that my nephew has said is not everything. And the fact that when the police came there, they wouldn't even let them come in. If this is a scene of an accident, we need to get on the scene and find out what happened immediately. The only reason why you would require search warrants or anything else is because you need to hide damning evidence. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, and I'm not a police officer, but I'm not stupid. And that's a fact. And if my sister was being beaten,
There's no talking in the gallery.
or anything of the such, they would know about it. And I'm not saying that she was, because I wasn't there. My sister would never tell me, because She got with this man, and he knows it because she was in a previous abusive relationship by a man that did beat her repetitively. And I would be in here right now if my sister had let me put my hands on that man. But you can't do that. And I thought about that now with this man. But I can't do that. I have to raise my nephew. I also have a 7-year-old son that they think of each other as brothers now. They've always been like that, but now they're closer than ever. And in conclusion, that's all I can really ask is for whatever the time is, it will never be long enough. Because at some point and someday, you will be able to get out. That's a fact. And this man can walk into a club, a mall, or a bar, meet some young lady, charming, working out, he done worked out for however many years, got an education or whatever it is. And he can have a child and continue on his life, because I believe he has no children. And he can have a child and go on. And my nephew can walk into a mall later on in his life with some friends and bump into this man. And I'll let you know that Hezekiah doesn't even know that you are alive. Because I didn't tell him what you did to his mother. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what happened. Let's just say that. I told him that an accident happened, like what happened with Ryan and Grandma and Grandpa. And so he thinks that the both of you, in love, had an accident. He doesn't know. And I know he's 10. We got Google and whatever else they are on, and this and this and this. And he may Google it one day. And I have made that pledge that when he asks me about it, I can't lie to him. I have to tell him what happened to his mother. But I hope that I don't. I hope that he's able to go on and think that you both perished in some type of accident, and that he'll know and he'll believe that you loved his mother until the end, and she loved you as well. And that it was just a tragic accident, and that she went up and you went up to join the angels, because that's what I told him. Because I wasn't going to speak ill about him. I wasn't going to disparage his name. That's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm there for. I have to wake up every day and support my nephew. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's all I really wanted to say. I know, like I say, I ramble, I go around the corner, and then I come back. But I'm just a man that I will never be the same again. I have a beautiful wife right there. She means the world to me. And she will tell you that she didn't even compare to my sister. And I love her to death. But my baby sister was all I ever wanted. And now I sit there and I have no sister. My sons have no hands. All we have is us boys now. That's all I want to say. I didn't mean to take up too much time. I didn't want to. I didn't know what I was going to say, but I appreciate everybody for giving me the chance.
Thank you, Mr. Gatewood, and I'm sorry for the loss that your family, all of the losses that your family has endured over these years.
I appreciate it. Thank you.